So we are discussing about that how you can see the detail of the particular packet and in the packet. So actually, what's the purpose of this packet analyzer is that we want to see the different packets which are coming in the network and which are coming in into the system, and we want to see that what's going on with that with those packets, and for either they are the suspicious packets, either there could be an intruder which is going to access particular application in the system, or it's a normal packet. So we can see this with the help of number of options as we have discussed. That you can also see that particular packet is coming from a particular website. Particular website, maybe it's possible that there's an intruder or there's a attacker, maybe uh, accessing a particular website, which could be it's possible that it could be a website, maybe if a user is going to access that, and then he can be there's a possibility that it could be a malicious code may be installed in your system, and after that it may replicate itself to that malicious code, and then it will get the control of your system, and after getting the control of your system it can send the critical information or important information in your system. So in this way, uh, so these are the different issues can be discussed when we are analyzing different packets. For example, if there's a packet, for example, it's possible that if any of the connection is coming from any packet, and there's a possible that we have defined different routes at the firewall, for example, where we define that particular source should be given an access to the system, or particular source, particular destination should be given an access to the system. So we define here that, so if any of the packets is being dropped by the firewall, then you can have a reset would be defined here in the packet here. So you can see that if that particular packet is being dropped by your system, and then after that you can have you should you can you know about that particular packet is, if any packet is being dropped, then you can know that so that could be a suspicious IP address, or that could be a packet which may be coming from a suspicious a user which is going to access particular application. So that's why it could be possible that packet. That's why that package is dropped by the firewall. You can define different rules for that to uh, for different packets. If any of the packet is actually having particular source address that is stopped, and that is defined as a reset here, and you can see that particular packet is stopped, and then you can know the reason why that particular packet is being dropped. So it could be the reason that that could be a suspicious protocol, that could be a suspicious, you can say, IP address, the user which is going to access the particular application in your system. So in this way, we can analyze different things as far as the Wireshark is concerned, and then you have. As I told you that, for example, if you want to see the detail of the particular packet, uh, that what's actually how that particular packet is connected to different websites, for example, from where it's coming. So you can also see the follow stream option of that particular packet. Like before, we see about of the UDP, and now you can see of the TCP as well. So in this way, you have a number of options to see the details of particular protocol you want to see. And then you have some other menu, like for example, it's called as a statics. If you want to see the different statics of particular packet, like for example, There's a very useful uh, option here like iograph. So if you want to see the details of the different protocol, different packets, which are, for example, how much data is being, how much packets are being sent per second. For example, here you can see there are the different packets having different variations here. For example, here you can see the different packets having different variations. So in this way, you can see that if number of packets are coming and you want to see. So here is, for example, I have uh, now I want to see it is now you can see the packets are coming and there it's also showing that how different packets are coming from different users, so how they are vary. You can see in the graph as well that, for example, number of packets are coming in the second with different here. Like here you can see the different variations, and here they are uh, some other types of packets are shown here. So in this way, you have number of options. You can also see that how they are being used. So this is a very useful. You can also save this graph as well. That, for example, if the packets are coming with different variations, for example, you want to save this and you want to take a report for that. So you can also do this with the help of this option. And then you have a number of other options here. For example, here you want to see the protocol hierarchy. For example, which protocols are used, how much percentage is used in the packets. For example, the number of protocols are used here. Like for example, there's a UDP protocol, there's a TCP protocol, or some other type of protocols used here. Uh, like IGMP protocol, or there are some other protocols. So how much percentage is used by that protocol in your data, for example, which is coming in your interface or which is coming in the network, for example. So you can also see this with the help of this option as well. And then you have some other options like there's a conversation option. You want to see that which protocol, which user is going to talk to which user. For example, you can have a source address and a destination address, or for example, we have different users. For example, there's a user A and user B. For example, uh, what's IP address for that? What's MAC address for that? And what's the source address, what's the destination address for that particular user. So in this way, you can see the detail of the different users are talking to each other, different users are connecting to each other. So you can also see the details of this with the help of this option, like conversation option. And then you have some other uh, other useful things you can see here. There are a number of, like for example, if you want to see the statics of IP version 4 or IP version 6, you can also have this option as well. And then you have, for example, there are the number of other options, like, for example, you can define the rules for particular data or particular, you can say you want to filter in here. Like for example, this option can be used to filter particular data. For example, uh, you can see here there are the different filters are given here. You can also define your own filter as well. That, for example, if you want to allow that particular IP address, if you want to not allow that particular IP address to access to your network, or for example, to access to your particular application. So you can also define this with the help of this, for example. So different rules are given here. So you can also define your own rule. For example, there could be different rules from your Windows, there could be different rules from other like for example there's different rules from IP firewall, for example, here, which can be defined, and you can also define for that, and different rules for your Windows, uh, and you can also define here. So the way to write different rules, the format you can see, for example, as we have also discussed about different rules as well when we were discussing how we can write the different rules in the firewall, for example, where we write the particular IP address to which we are accessing, which we are giving an access to that, or for example, if the particular packet is being defined and particular protocol is being defined. For example, if you want to do that, like if there's an email, you don't want to give an access to particular user to access a particular email, then you deny ICMP protocol for that particular user with the source address you define. For example, that particular source address of that user, and then you write a denied that ICMP protocol. So in this way, you can define different rules for different protocols or different packets with the help of this tool as well. So it's very useful option to define when you are using the TCP or UDP protocol. So in this way, there are the number of options which are given, and you can also detect particular intruder as well. So I discussed with you that how you can know about a particular intruder is coming in your system. So there could be different types of attacks, maybe launched by an attacker into the network, into your network, for example. So you can see with the help of the drop packets, which are done by the firewalls, for example. So you can see from there as well that that particular packets are being dropped, and it's possible that there could be an attacker is attacking from having that particular IP address. So that is why that is dropped by the firewall or by the router. So in this way, it will contains a reset like option, and then you can see that that particular packet is being dropped. So in this way, you can block that particular IP address so that it cannot access some applications or some services in your system as well. Or for example, you can also see that if any of the processes actually getting more time to process are taking more processing time, then you can also you can say uh, in that process, for example. So in this way, you can also have some packets coming with different lanes. For example, if any packet is type of a very large size, so that may be possible that it could be a packet may be coming from an intruder. So it will be, if it's a normal size, for example, then it's okay. If it's a very large, then it could be considered as an attack or as an intruder which is attacking to the system. So in this way, you have number of options you can see whenever you analyze different packets. Or for example, if you see there's an IP address, and it is connecting to a particular application. So there's a limit is given in that particular application or particular service, that many connections can only be established or can only be connected to that particular service or to the particular application, for example. So if it is exceeding that limit, So that could be considered, that could be attack like a denial of service attack, maybe launched from attacker to attack to the system. That could be launched by an attacker to a particular, you can say, application, for example, or particular network, for example. So in this way, we have a number of options can be discussed here. So we can also, as I told you, with a particular filter, you can also define, like for example, IP uh, with a particular source. That if you want to see the data from particular source, then you can define like IP source, and then you give a particular address here. So it's packet only coming from this source. For example, if you want to see the uh, particular packets which with the particular destination, for example, if you want to see like here, so you can also define that with the help of this protocol, and you have number of other filters as well. So you can also do this with the help of this option. So there are a number of filters also given here. You can see that the format of different you can say uh, filters. For example, if for any particular website, if you want to see that, so we have already did that. That how we can know about particular website, for example, that the package you want to see from only coming from the particular website, or with a particular port number, source port, or destination port, or for example, if you want to see the IP version 4 packets, or if you want to see IP version 6 packets. So in this way, you have number of options. You can do this with the help of the Wireshark, and so so it's very useful tool in the sense that you can analyze different packets, and uh, the packets which are entering into the system. So they are the main source of accessing particular data in your system. And if you want to see that data in your system, then you can also use this with the help of different options. And each packet which may be entering into the system, so that maybe have some suspicious packets which may enter into the system, which may enter into the network as well. So so you can also find out, or you can also identify that with the help of the Wireshark. For example, if any of the packet which is of a larger length, for example, that is not a normal packet, for example, so then it would be considered in a suspicious packet, for example. So in this way, we have different options as we discussed about it, how you can do this with the help of the Wireshark. So, so it's about the, the packet analyzer like Wireshark, and we have also discussed different options here, that how we can do different packet analysis of using this tool as a packet analyzer. And if we analyze different packets which are coming into the network, So we can also identify the different intruders or different you can say attacks may be launched on the network. So we have discussed, we see that different types of attacks, like a denial of service attack or distributed denial of service attack, or like some other attacks which can be launched on the system, for example, or which can be launched on the network, for example. So in this way, we have different options here. So so if you want to see the further details of this, so you can. I have also provided you a book as well, so you can also see uh, different tasks which are particularly related to the security, for example. So you can also do this with the help of that as well. So so there are the number of other options as well uh, for filtering, like as we have discussed them as well. Like we have. So there's some other type of filter where we can use compound filters. Like for example, we can do this with the help of the option like here that consists of, for example, if you want to see the packets maybe coming from a particular IP address, um, if the packet is been coming from particular IP address, and we want to say that so apply a filter. Okay. So this is the filter we have defined like this. For example, uh, the the packet may be coming from this IP address, and it is a this protocol which can be which you want to see that. Or for example, if you want to see that particular packets are coming from this IP address and they are coming from uh, this like UDP protocol. So in this way, you have compound filters where you are having a number of different options you can use in your filter, and where you define, for example, uh, you want to filter a particular packet on the basis of the source address uh, as well as the protocol that is used by that particular packet. So in this way, you can also filter this with the help of this, and this type of filtering is actually called the compound filtering. So you can do this with the help of Wireshark, and then you have some other options. You can also do this. So there are some other filters as well as, for example, if you want to see some HTTP request packet, so you can also see this. Or for example, if you want to see a particular packet with having a particular length, for example, so you have different lanes is defined here. Like for example, you want to see TCP packets, bytes. So you can see that the packets which are having more than 100 bytes, for example, or for example, you want to see the packets are TCP packets with 100, or some packets. Uh, So in this way, you can also see the different packets with a particular length of a particular protocol, for example. So you can also see with the help of this option as well. Uh, Right. Okay, so you can also see the different packets with less than 100, for example. Size are, for example, you can see the packets with more than 100, for example. So you can see different packets which are more than 100, for example. So in this way, you have a number of options which you can see. You want to filter for a particular image, for example. So you can have this option, and we have already done about a particular website, for example. So you can also see with the help of this the option like for example, if you want to see the details of DNS protocol, different DNS servers. So you can also have the detail of this DNS, and you can also see the detail of that, as well as that, for example, you want to tell. So that may be coming from a DNS, for example, particular DNS servers are used. So in this way, you have a number of options here, and there's an option which is used here. For example, if you want to mark a particular packet, for example, here there's a mark packet. You mark this, for example, here, uh, and you want, for example, copy that summary, for example, and if you want to save this in some file. So you can also have the detail of that, and you can save this because you want to analyze a particular packet, for example. And if you want to later analyze that particular packet, that only these packets you want to look at, that maybe you have find out these packets, maybe the suspicious packet which may be coming from an intruder, or which may be coming from an attacker, and then you want to analyze these packets, and then you can see this, and you can mark these packets or unmark these packets with the help of this option as well. So in this way, you have a number of these options, so you can do with the help of the Wireshark. So if you have any question regarding this, then you can ask. Yes, is there any question? Any question? Uh, if you are asking a question that what we achieve through this this packet analyzer. So actually, it's a very useful tool, and it is widely used to analyze different packets which are coming in the network. So for analyzing, why we analyze different packets, as far as the system administrator is concerned, our network administrator is concerned. So he has to analyze its network, for example, to see different things, what's going on in the network, which users are accessing which thing, and which users are accessing which services. Either these services are accessed by the users which are given the permission then to access them, or which are allowed by them to them by the administrator to access those applications. Either they are using that. So if any of the user which may be accessing particular application, particular service, which is not allowed, or which is not given permission to him to access that, then we can also see that, and we can also stop him to access that particular service. For example, particular we can define the different rules in this packet analyzer as well, that for example which data should be given access, which data should not be given an access to the system. So in this way, we have different types of advantage. Like for example, what's going on in the network, which users are using which services, and why. If any of the suspicious user, for example, accessing particular service which is not given permission to him, then we can also see that with the help of the Wireshark as well. And we can do number of things, like we can analyze the